Today I'm going to demonstrate how to use our U.S. charitable database to search for funding opportunities for a faith-based organization developing a mental health peer support program. But before I begin, I want to address a couple of points that can make searching for funds with a religious component a little confusing. Now basically, there are two types of funding with regards to religion. There's funding for inherently religious activities, and there's funding for faith-based organizations addressing a charitable or secular need in the community, like our project. Now, there are funders that support inherently religious activities. To find these funders in our database, I recommend searching under Religion and Ethics in our areas of interest. You can select individual topics or the general category. The general category will cover general religion or ethics issues or other specific areas not on the list. You can also search by types of grant makers and select religious. While there is no official designation as a religious grant maker, this will identify grant makers who are not categorized as foundations, yet they fund the advancement of religion or its teachings. For example, the Catholic Campaign for Human Development is the domestic anti-poverty social justice program of the U.S. Catholic bishops. Its mission is to address the root causes of poverty in the United States through promotion and support of community-controlled self-help organizations and through transformative education. This grant maker is not an official foundation, but they support the tenets of Catholic social teachings of human dignity. However, our project, while originating in a faith-based organization, addresses a charitable or secular need to support the needs of adults with mental illness through a peer support program. So even though our organization is faith-based, we can broaden our search considerably by looking at different areas of interest and target populations that our project will impact. We're going to go ahead and start our search by defining our geographic scope. So we can select national grant makers, those that fund across the U.S., and narrow in on the state we're working in our case, Mississippi. Now looking down at areas of interest, we can select mental health, which is under health and wellness, and running this search, we have about 9 results. Let's look at a funder profile to see what information is provided. This one, the Foundation for the Mid-South, looks like a good fit. Now looking at the record, on the left you'll see a summary of the areas they support. And looking down the list, right here under Health, they support mental health awareness and access. Now this is exactly what we're looking to do through the peer support program. Let's dive into this profile more. Over on the right-hand side, you can see additional critical information about the funder, including their financial information with their total annual giving, and their open total annual giving is $486,000. Also, their application information looks as though it's open to nonprofit organizations. They look like a perfect fit. Let's go ahead and save them to our dashboard. Let's go back to our list and look at another profile. This time, a corporate foundation, the Troost Community Grants. Okay, again on the left, here are the areas of interest they support, and we can see that they address essential community services with a focus on programs that focus on providing health care, mental health, elder care, and addiction services to low or moderate income individuals and families. This looks good. So diving deeper, looking at the application information, eligible applicants are nonprofit organizations, but there are some restrictions. Now, note here under eligible applicants, they support nonprofit organizations, but not sectarian religious activities. This is an example of what I mentioned a bit ago, that this funder will support nonprofit organizations, including faith-based organizations, as long as the project is not religious in nature. So they'd be an option to keep exploring. Let's save them to our dashboard. Going back to our main search page, at this point you could expand to national funders, But let's look at our project from some different angles and see what additional funding opportunities there are. And we'll take a look at Mississippi as our geographic scope, and we'll look at people with disabilities under our target populations because our target audience includes people with disabilities. Looking at these results, here we go, the Southern Partners Fund. Clicking on this profile, they have a focus area of disability rights. They also have a discretionary fund. This fund provides grants for grassroots community organizing in the rural South that addresses one or more of the SPF's areas of interest listed above, which would be disability rights. Types of funding they have is general discretionary, technical assistance, and travel assistance. Okay, these are very promising categories as we're looking for funds to build the program and provide travel assistance and training to the volunteers. Looking at their financials over here, so they give over $1.7 million each year. While our organization is an established nonprofit, it looks like we might not fit with the eligibility criteria of grassroots community groups. But we are building a network of volunteer peer support, so it could be a fit. Going back to our records, let's look here at South Arts. Okay, they have micro accessibility grants. Now looking at this particular opportunity, they provide grants up to $2,500 for organizations to make arts programs accessible to persons with disabilities. Okay, so the quick glance at this opportunity demonstrates that it doesn't fit our program, so we don't need to do any further research. To ensure you don't look at the same funder over and over when you know it's not a good fit, you can use this button right up here to mark them as not applicable. Now there are additional ways to look at our program. Let's do a new search with National as our geographic scope, and we're going to select Public Service and Volunteerism under our areas of interest. Now looking at the results down here, Community Care Corps. Okay, it's a national program that works to increase the number of volunteer programs available at the local level to provide non-medical care to older adults, persons with disabilities, and family caregivers. Looks as though they have 3 different target populations, again, family caregivers, persons over 60, persons over 18 with a disability. That's pretty good. Programs must also address an unmet need, be delivered in a home or community-based, non-institutional setting, provide services, recruit and train volunteers. I'm liking the sound of this. Our program will do all of these things, and we have the required matching funds for this particular offering. The amount of funding fits within our scope, and we're an eligible organization. This is a great opportunity. We're going to hit save on this and immediately start looking into it. Today we reviewed just our U.S. charitable database. We have a federal database and a state database as well, so there are a lot of options out there for you. My advice? Think about your project from a lot of different angles and then dig into the databases. It's easy and helps you find the most up-to-date information, and it can even be fun.